What if the biggest surprise at this World Cup isn't a football giant, but a country of just 3 million people? When people talk about dark horses at the World Cup, they usually mention teams like Croatia, Morocco, or Switzerland. This is a country with just a few million people, a nation making only its second ever World Cup appearance. But if you follow their journey, you know this isn't just another underdog story. This is a story of heartbreak, a story of missed opportunities, a story of a football nation that spent more than a decade watching every major tournament from home. And somehow, after years of disappointment, humiliation, and one devastating 7-0 defeat to Germany, Bosnia found a way back. Today, they're opening their World Cup campaign against Canada, and they might be one of the most fascinating teams in the entire tournament. The dream of 2014. To understand why this World Cup means so much to Bosnians, we need to go back to 2014. That was the golden generation. Edin Dzeko, Miralem Pjanic, Vedad Ibišević, Asmir Begović. For the first time in history, Bosnia qualified for a major tournament and reached the World Cup in Brazil. Even though they were eliminated in the group stage, they pushed Argentina, beat Iran, and left with their heads held high. Most fans thought it was only the beginning. Nobody imagined it would be more than a decade before Bosnia returned to another major tournament. 11 years of heartbreak. Year after year, qualification campaign after qualification campaign, Bosnia came close, but never close enough. They missed World Cup qualification, they missed Euros, then they missed another Euros, and another. The heroes of 2014 were getting older, but the next generation wasn't ready to replace them. Results became increasingly inconsistent. At one point, Bosnia failed to finish higher than third in qualification groups for years and suffered repeated playoff heartbreaks. Every comeback story has a rock bottom. For Bosnia, that moment came against Germany. Many supporters wondered whether the national team had lost its identity entirely. The confidence was gone, the belief was gone, and perhaps most importantly, the connection between the fans and the team seemed broken. That's when everything started to change. The Sergej Barbarez gamble. In 2024, Bosnia made one of the boldest decisions in modern international football. They appointed national team legend Sergej Barbarez. There was just one problem. He had never managed a senior team before. Barbarez wasn't just a former player, he was a symbol of pride, a captain, a leader, someone who understood exactly what representing Bosnia meant. Even many supporters admitted their heads questioned the appointment while their hearts loved it. What Barbarez changed wasn't just formations. He changed the atmosphere. He talked about passion, honesty, energy, responsibility, and reconnecting players with the badge. Young players were trusted. The squad became more united. And suddenly, Bosnia looked alive. Under Barbarez, they recorded one of their best starts to a qualifying campaign and remained in the fight until the final match day. After 11 years of waiting, Bosnia were finally back. Most people will look at Canada and see the favorites. They're co-hosts. They have stars playing in top leagues. They have pace, athleticism, and home support. But Bosnia have something harder to measure: momentum, belief, and absolutely nothing to lose. Why Bosnia can shock everyone. The funny thing about football is that tournaments aren't always won by the most talented teams. Sometimes they're defined by belief, by chemistry, by momentum, by a group of players who genuinely love playing for each other. That's what Bosnia have become. Nobody expects them to go far. Nobody expects them to challenge the giants. And that's exactly why they might surprise everyone. So when Bosnia step onto the pitch against Canada, remember, you're not just watching another World Cup underdog. You're watching 11 years of frustration, 11 years of missed chances, 11 years of waiting for another moment on football's biggest stage. The question is, can Sergej Barbarez complete one of the greatest turnarounds in Bosnian football history? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along for more World Cup stories from around the globe.